So I want to review The Predator, the new one, and I also want to review Predator, the original. So, you know, why waste time with two different videos? I'll just stick them together.
The Predator.
So there's not a lot to respect about The Predator, the new one. But, you know, at least I kind of respect the fact that they tried to do something different. You know, just that. Not the fact that they decided to go with a comedy, because that's not exactly a fresh idea. I mean, they're doing it all over the place now. You know, at least they didn't try to force reliving the old magic of the original Predator. I don't think they could really do that, purely by virtue of the fact that it exists already and everybody already knows the creature. You know, it's just barely the same kind of movie, so I don't really get the motivation for doing this. Anyway, that being said, this movie did actually get a couple of laughs out of me, which I'm actually kind of embarrassed about, to be honest, because everybody on the internet is complaining at the moment about how horribly unfunny this movie is. Oh, the humor really stinks. And I kind of get that. I mean, some of the jokes really seem like they're kind of smeared on as kind of an afterthought, and a lot of them do really suck. But you know, I got a couple of good laughs in. Call me a laugh slut, whatever. This is supposed to be ice cream. Tastes like rocks. On top of that, there were a couple of good scenes that built some tension. I like the scene in the beginning where the Predator is beating up a bunch of science guys and Olivia Munn is like trying to get away. That's pretty good tension in that scene. Another scene where the big Predator is sort of starting to show up and you see his shadow through the windows when they're at this high school. Kind of got me going there. It was kind of interesting. There's also a couple of good like gore things if you're into that. Especially towards the end, there's some gore stuff that happens that's kind of cool. Not a lot. And one in the beginning that I really liked. Predator's got like this invisibility cloak thing and all these blood and guts like drips all over him and it's like, ugh. Casting is great, especially three actors, Olivia Munn, Sterling K. Brown, and I forgot this guy's name from The Expanse. I thought the acting was good. I don't necessarily like all the character choices they made, but execution, they were good. I like them.
Fuck yeah.
I have one more thing I gotta say about the casting, but I need it for my segue, so I'm gonna hold off for a little while and talk about some other things. So that's it for the good stuff. I don't think it's as bad as everybody's making it out to be. It's not that bad, but you know, we were on our way to Total Turd Town. It was heading that way. But you know, we ran out of petrol. We stopped just shy of Total Turd Town. It's not 100% crap, is what I'm saying. Almost everything else in the movie that I haven't praised, everything else is pretty much crap. A lot of flat jokes, a lot of ideas that are just gawk, like predator dogs. Whose idea was that? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Oh, and the ending. I'm not gonna spoil it, but if you have seen the very, very ending, the very last scene, what happens with Jacob Tremblay, the little boy, where he ends up in the very last scene is by far the funniest thing in the movie, and it's definitely not supposed to be that way. It's just absolutely stupid, and it made me laugh so much. It's the most ridiculous shit. How could they let this happen? It's the stupidest thing. Okay, so we're back talking about casting again. So here's my segue. You ready? So the thing that's weird about the casting, for me, is like, do you notice how many of these actors look eerily similar to the cast of the original Predator movie? Like, just their faces? It's gotta be the most shallow casting director in all of Hollywood to come up with this idea. Let's just cast the actors to look just like the original cast. And if they don't look like the original cast, then they act like the original cast. Like Keegan-Michael Key, you know, he doesn't look anything like Shane Black, but he's doing the same thing. What a ripoff.
Just pointing it out.
And that's where the similarities end. How was that? Was that okay? Was that an okay segue?
Predator.
I kind of love Predator. I don't really know that I get why I love it. But here's at least a couple of reasons that I think are good reasons to love it. For starters, just compare the intros. Compare the intro of the new movie to the intro of the old movie. The intro for The Predator, I mean, it's kind of cool. It's this big CGI fest. They're in space. They come through this fucking wormhole. The guy crashes into Hubble telescope. It's cool. But this intro for Predator, the original, is just leagues ahead of that. It's quiet. And it's understated. It's like, what is that thing? I don't know. It's perfect. I love it. It's such a great intro to a weird movie like this. But here's the thing that I like the most about it. So, Alien is like a horror movie. It's a full-blown horror movie. It's just in space. And that's awesome. Predator is a little different. It's a full-blown action movie that slowly turns into a horror movie, which is kind of awesome as well. And the way that those two genres kind of feed off of each other is so great. And it's actually kind of unique, I think. It's as cliche and corny as it can possibly be for an action movie. Right down to the line delivery and everything.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
It's terrible. And that stuff carries on even as the movie's turning into a horror movie. And I love it. This movie is just the corniest thing ever. I mean, just look at this Predator. Look at it. It's freaking beautiful. One thing that's kind of a weird choice that I don't really understand is those POV shots. Identifying as the Predator, seeing from his perspective. And I don't really get that. But on top of that, those shots just go on for way too long. And it's kind of weird, but I don't think I would take it out if I was recutting this movie or something now. I don't know that I would take it out because it's just so classic Predator, and it kind of prepares you for the horror movie while the action movie is still happening. I don't know, it's just a weird thing. I don't know if I really like it or if I hate it. It's just a weird choice, you know? The horror elements are really effective, I think. It's not scary, but it's effective. I think the reason it works is because of the rules. The rules of this thing are really well established as the movie goes on. It's not indestructible. It's not like a tank that can take unlimited damage, you know? It's not godlike. You know, if the thing gets shot, a bullet wound is still a big deal for this thing if it gets shot. But the reason why it's winning is that it's just smarter and better equipped than this. And it's not just smarter and better equipped than just anyone. This is like the dream team we got going here, right? We got a perfect team of guys, you know, the strongest, the smartest, the most skilled, and they show all of that stuff in the beginning. And they got the best guns, they got everything. And you know that they can win if they just get one good shot in at this thing. If they get a headshot or something, they can win this thing. But they can't because he's just better than us. He's just a little bit stronger than our strongest guy. And he's just a little bit smarter than our smartest guys. I mean, that's some effective shit, man. If we want to get a little kind of philosophical, I think it plays on like a really masculine kind of fear, which is like, no matter how strong you are, no matter how well trained you are or well prepared you are for any kind of danger, there could always just be some guy at a bar who decides he doesn't like you for no good reason and just beats the shit out of you. No matter how strong or well trained you are, there's always somebody who's like a little bit stronger. And even if you've got some special kind of edge, there's somebody who's got an even better edge somewhere out there. Even if you're the biggest, strongest person out there, like, how long can you maintain that? Somebody else is gonna come along and eventually topple you over. The Predator is the embodiment of that idea. He's just a manlier man than you or even Arnie could ever be. That thing that is just a bit stronger than you, a bit smarter than you, and it'll take you down for no good reason. Maybe that's why I like it. It plays on that kind of insecurity. I mean, if you think about it, Arnie doesn't get away at the end because he outsmarted the creature or because any of his plans worked. He straight up lost that fight, fair and square. He just got out because he got lucky. That's it. And that's what I imagine he's thinking at the end when he's in that chopper. He didn't win that fight. He's just, lucky to be alive. Pure luck. It's weird because in that sense, even the new Infinity War is more like Predator than the Predator.